Greetings, Orange Army. Welcome back to UJTV. This is In Conversation, and today I'm having a conversation with somebody I think is my enemy. And let me tell you why. You know that we've been having this great partnership with the UJenius Club, right? And then just over a month ago, they celebrated all the incredible members of the club with the UJenius Club Gala Dinner. And then I find out on that day that apparently, UJenius is cheating on me with somebody who has money, which obviously now makes me worried. That is why I'm joined right now by the Divisional Head of RMB Private Bank, Malcolm Hahn, to explain to me why exactly this partnership is so important and why I should be okay with them cheating on me. All right, Malcolm, greetings to you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, and very nice to be here. Appreciate it.
Very happy to be with you.
And thank you for giving us the opportunity to defend ourselves and make you feel better.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, because I just thought it was just me and UJenius all the way. We are partners. And then I find out that for the gala dinner, you guys are coming in as one of the main sponsors, which I think was really incredible. And maybe let's start there, right? A successful evening that was. You guys were a part of that as well. Talk to me about some of your highlights from that night.
Well, some of the highlights from that night was just some of the energy and the inquiring minds that we got to meet. Obviously, on the back of that, these are the top performers, and that's why. Because they do have the energy and they do have those inquiring minds, some very smart people. It was lovely to be able to spend that time, mix and see this absolute talent in UJ. And then also just it was a beautiful evening of real class and beautiful looking evening. So really nice to appreciate that and to be a part of that.
Beautiful stuff. Soon enough, I want us to talk about some of the graduate programs that you guys have at RMB Private Bank, but also even speak about your partnership with UJ. But first up, I want us to maybe just lay it out for our viewer at home, viewing us right now. Maybe they're thinking to themselves, RMB Private Bank, that private bank right there. Talk to us a bit more about that part, because with any other bank that maybe people know, it's just Zethembe Bank and never Zethembe Private Bank. What differentiates the two?
Well, I think the key around it is a normal bank is transactional led to a large extent. I think with private banking, we go beyond banking. So it is about a relationship. It is about having someone with a technical capability and skill that is able to guide you and help you as a client in terms of your next stages in your life. We look across you and your family. It's not just about an individual. And we look at how we can set goals and plan with you over your life stages that is going to put you and your family in a better position ultimately. And that's where I see the value of private banking, whether it be on your transactional banking, whether it be on your lending requirements, whether it be how you invest and build for the future, how you protect in terms of insurance, wills, etc. That's where we come in, and that's the time that we spend with clients to put them in a better position.
Beautiful stuff. And as you speak of family and building futures here, right? I think it is something that is quite important that you start at a young age, which is why I would then believe that the reason why a partnership such as the one that you have with the university right now even comes about is because you want to make sure that from this young age, I know that it's never too early to start. Speak to me about the importance of that.
Well, that's exactly right. I think over the last years, I think we haven't focused on the youth and the younger generation enough. We've been in private banking for a long time. But often when you bring a client on and they, in their 40s, there's already some structure and some, some sort of baggage that comes with it, I suppose. But when we are able to bring a client in from an early age and a younger generation, we're able to actually walk that journey with the client. And I think it puts the client in a much better position, ultimately, from day one. It's interesting because we are now doing the work with the universities. We are trying to get to these young professionals at a much earlier stage, as they're starting out in life. And it's interesting, one of my own advisors said to me the other day, he wishes he had this when he was leaving university, that there was an advisor that was connecting with him, that was showing him how to go about, organizing his first car, or what to do with his first paycheck, and how to structure things.
I love that. And you mentioned that partnering with universities, which means you've been partnering up with quite a number of institutions around the country. But what would you say has stood out for you specifically, partnering with the great University of Johannesburg?
Well, UJ, for some reason, initially I was finding it difficult to get in. So yes, we've been working with universities, we've been trying to get to all the main sort of universities. But UJ we just didn't seem to have an opening. And then we had an opportunity to come up with the UJenius Club, quite by chance, through some F&B connections. And we got to listen and to understand the UJenius side of things. It's obviously your sort of academic academy. It really flights top achievers, looks at how it can support it, and we just believe that's values and culture that we live to, and an ideology we want to be a part of. So we immediately got into partnership with them. Working with them, obviously on the Gala Dinner, and now trying to look at other opportunities in terms of how we lock in further. In terms of UJ as a whole, through that, I'm not a Joburg person, so I didn't have any history and understanding of UJ, to be honest. But through your whole UJ20 initiatives that you're doing this year, and obviously the connection with UJenius, got to meet some lovely vice chancellors and some real academia, and in that also got to learn about the UJ story, which I didn't know. And that's also just been a great revelation for me. It's also kind of inspired me even more. And I'm very keen in terms of how we unpack this partnership
going forward, right? I love that. That's beautiful.
With it more,
And at the gala dinner, talk to me about your impressions. Interacting with our, I want to say, top students here at the University of Johannesburg, because as you did say, these are the top 1% performers here in our institution, and you got to interact with them as you're interacting with the leaders and the executive. It was with the students as well. What did you think of the top talent that we have to offer here?
I was so impressed. I really was, and it was quite interesting because on some of them, and I suppose it's maybe because that's the industry I operate in. Some of them you could immediately see this is definitely a CA. So that was quite fun to pick that out. It was interesting because at the very table I was lucky enough, at the table I was at, I had the top 3, and absolutely amazing to talk to them. They're all very, very energized, very focused. You can see they've put in a lot of work, and certainly listening to their stories, they've worked really hard to get there. I think UJenius has done a wonderful job in terms of the support that they bring to those individuals, because you can be a top achiever, but sometimes you need a little more to maintain it, and to reach even higher. So I think you've got in your top students in UJ, you've got probably some of the most innovative, entrepreneurial, and special people that are going to make a difference in this world.
Beautiful.
Undoubtedly. And we're looking forward to seeing them again. So we've got an arrangement where I think most of the top sort of 10 will be coming through to our offices tomorrow. We will be hosting them and obviously giving them a little bit of a tour and an introduction to RMB.
Yeah, I love that, because then I think you are now touching on to what is next for them, because as soon as they're done, they graduate, and then they start to look out for opportunities in the job market. And you guys have an incredible graduate program. Tell me a bit more about that, and what do you think about your program makes it stand out amongst the rest? Because I mean, every institution has a graduate program, right? But what about the one at RMB Private Bank just stands out?
Look, so you're 100% right. There's a lot of companies, corporates, etc., that have graduate programs. We've tried to go with a real program, because I think you have programs where It can still remain very theoretical, academic, lots of sitting around and observing, but no action as such. And I don't know that you get the best value out of that. On our graduate program, which is specifically focused on private banking and advisory, capability, skills, and our solutions, we bring graduates in for about a year, and in that year they have sort of 4 rotations that they do over 3 months each. One of them is frontline, so with us. So we've actually got a few grads that actually sit with us and rotate. And it's been very interesting and very cool. You also see different characters, different skills, different sort of capabilities. It's always interesting to see. So each of them will spend rotations with 4 different parts. The one is the front line. They then spend a rotation with our credit to kind of understand credit and what we apply in terms of credit exposure, credit risk, how we apply our mandates on it, credit appetite. They then spend some time on our wealth and investment side. So it's basically our 4 pillars. So our frontline sort of relationship piece, our lending, our invest, and then our insure. And they spend time in each of those. Now, where it will make a difference is that in each of those, there's leadership that actually take ownership of those grads. So they get mentoring and learning that is happening on an ongoing basis. They get exposure at a holistic level in terms of the strategy. So the grads that sit in our space, my sales manager and I have been the ones mentoring. We include them in our team meetings. They get to be part of some of our campaigns we run. They get to learn how to have those conversations with clients. And then at the end of it, if they want, we go through a process of almost like a review assessment. And if they're successful, they more than likely will get offered a role in one of our banking private advisor type roles.
Sure. And speak to me about that, because that sounds to me like hands-on experience. And I believe that for that, you can't just have academic excellence backing you alone. You need to have certain traits and skills to be able to thrive in such an environment of the workplace, right? What are some of those traits that you guys normally look for outside of the, oh, well, you did well at school, but now we're looking for whether you possess this quality, this quality. What do you normally look for in the people who apply for your guys' graduate program?
So one of the key things for me always is there needs to be an energy. One of the things you don't want is to have to continuously push someone. People must be energetic, ambitious, wanting to make a difference. They must obviously be clever and have a capability to be innovative, think outside the box. We're always looking for new ways to do things and better ways to do things. And we rely heavily on new blood, to do that for us. They've got to have a strong ethical culture, but a caring as well. Those are sort of the key traits that we kind of look to that kind of match our values as a corporation.
Beautiful. And as we enter the workplace, then there's that first paycheck. We're excited. Life is just starting out for us, right? Do not give in all your secrets, because I think whoever wants all your secrets should come to RMB Private Bank to get them, right? But what are some of the top advices you would give to a young person who just, is new in the workplace? My first paycheck has just come through, and I'm wondering what's the first step I should take with this money, no matter the amount, because I feel like with money, it's the principle that matters, never really the amount, right? So here's my first paycheck. What are some of the mistakes we normally do, and what are some of the advices do you think we should employ to try and make sure that we take smart financial decisions?
I think one of the first things that a early graduate, I want to say youngster, will do is they want to go blow it. They want to get that first great car and all the rest of it. I think it's a case of you need to look to build wealth, not show richness. So that's the difference between how people, you can be rich or you can be wealthy.
You choose.
100%. So right from the start, it's about how do I make this money work for me?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the guidance. So if there's a car that's required, that purpose is to make sure that you get around so you can do your job.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, the most expensive, flashy car. So let's be reserved on it. Is there a way that you can finance it, that it makes sense, that you pay it over a longer period of time without costing more?
Yeah.
And so those are the things that we certainly, one of the first things is always start putting away your money immediately.
Immediately.
So look at some type of investment solution, and that's certainly where we would always help.
Sure.
One of the things that we've done is in our own young professionals value proposition, we only charge half the banking fee.
Oh.
But of that fee that we charge, we take 50 Rand of that fee and we put it into a share invest account for the graduate, the young professional, for the client.
Yeah.
The client then gets exposure to shares, to kind of that product. 50 Rand every month is going to be added to it over the course of however long he stays with us until the age of 30, obviously, because that's the young professional's value prop.
Yes.
But that's what we want. We want guys to get exposure to invest and to grow and to look at setting goals around how they create wealth as opposed to spend.
And just spend recklessly, right?
Yeah.
As you speak about, the spending on cars and then showing your riches, which is what a lot of us rush to do as soon as we get that first big paycheck, as you've said. Someone might be watching and they think, because I don't do all these things, then I'm responsible with my money. But I don't think that's naturally the case, right? Not necessarily spending on a car doesn't mean that where you are spending is still responsible, right? What are some of the other, I would say, tiny mistakes that we make in terms of our spending that are not also obvious? It's not so obvious, you obviously spent on a car, or you obviously went out and drank it all away at a club, or whatever the case could be. Those tiniest details, things maybe we do not do that we should be doing with our money, or things that we are doing that we should stop doing, that result in, I would say, poor financial decisions,
Look, it's a very broad question, but I mean, I think maybe the key for me is you should have an objective. So you should sit down and you should understand what do you earn, what do you need to pay, and what are your kind of costs that you can't negotiate on. They showstoppers.
Sure.
You need somewhere, you need a roof over your head. You need transport. So those are the things that you factor in. From a cost perspective, that gives you a kind of a budget, and then what you need to be doing is saying, okay, so once I've paid all of that cost, what are the little nuances that I can give myself a little, but the rest of it I need to save, and it's all about savings.
Sure.
And especially in the beginning, the bigger that number can be, the better. And then on that number is once again a plan. Okay, so how long would I need something? Do I need to save up for something? I might need to buy a house as opposed to rent. I might say that is going to give me a better return in the long term because now I own an asset as opposed to paying for someone else's asset. So let me start saving up for that. What do I need to do that? So it's about making all those inquiries, learning all about that, and again, where private advisor makes the difference is because that's exactly the conversation that we would be having up front with the client.
What's the objective?
So what's the objective? Ultimately, you need a house. How are we going to do that? When you do the house, you're going to need a 20% deposit. How are you going to save for that? This is the product that we've got for you that can help you save as you put this amount in on an ongoing basis. This is, you're never going to use this. We're going to put this in a really long-term, aggressive growth type of capability fund. And so we build that capability out.
I love that, because from your response, what stands out for me is have the objective. Because I think what I was realizing is that for example, it seems like just have an objective, but it's so much deeper because every other smart financial decision comes from you having that objective. And someone might think I'm doing well because I'm not spending on these
100%.
reckless things, but you don't have an objective with your money anyways,
100%.
which is still a mistake, right?
And then once again, private banking, we make sure that on an annual basis, we'll touch base with you.
Beautiful.
And we revisit that objective.
Sure.
And we look at where you are on the goals that you've set.
Yeah.
And has life changed?
Yeah.
Because guess what? Now there's little missus.
Yeah.
You know, and she's keen on her house now.
Yeah.
Now that objective on the house has come forward a little bit. You know, so where you were planning over 5 years, now it's 3 years.
Has come closer than expected.
Yeah, so now we need to make some shifts, some adjustments, and that's how we carry on.
Yeah, beautiful. And obviously we're speaking to students at the same time, right? Future professionals, but students. And I can imagine that perhaps the needs of these two, individuals, I will say, would not be the same, right? As a professional, your income is higher, relatively higher than as you are a student. But you still do have income as a student. Do I need private banking from that early on, or only when I become a professional do I start needing private banking?
I would say so, yes. Look, everyone needs banking. But as a student, I think, you pretty much get by. I think a lot of it is from support from parents and so on. Once you start to become a professional, you start to move away from that support from a parent, and you start to become an individual that now operates, on their own, and has to look after themselves. And that's a very different, that's what you call adulting. And so you're moving into that next stage of life. Your parents will still support on certain things, but slowly but steadily as a professional, you'll get your own. And we want to get in right from the start at that point. But for a student that's still in varsity and studying, bank account critically important. But I think your needs are very limited, and I don't think there's a lot of advice necessarily that is needed at that point.
At that point. Beautiful stuff. I want us to talk, you already told me about the beautiful initiative that you guys are doing with the top 10 students, part of the UJenius Club here at the University of Johannesburg. I want you to talk to me about maybe plans for the future, maybe to expand on that, some of the, further engagements, taking the next gear in terms of your partnership with UJenius. Are we have any plans over that area for now?
Well, certainly we want to continue with UJenius, and certainly the Gala Dinner was a great event for us. We support what they do, and we think it's a great initiative that also gives us good exposure, both for us and for UJenius. We want to now, and we're going to be doing some work in terms of how we expand to the greater sort of UJ.
Sure.
So specifically, we're looking to unlock, and more than happy for people to reach out to us, but we're looking to unlock the opportunities in terms of us getting in front of the students that are finishing off their engineering. So your engineering faculty, your accounting sciences faculty, your legal faculties, all these sort of professional, future professionals. We want to get to them. And the objective that we have is specifically on your final year, your CAs, your engineers, we want to get to them at that final sort of year where, exactly like you're speaking now, it's time for you to now start speaking to us about your next steps and your future in financial needs. And that's what we're now going to look to unlock going forward.
Going forward. That's beautiful. In closing, Malcolm, I think I'd love for you to speak to us, as an expert and a leader in the banking field, but also as somebody who's now partner with the UJenius Club, right? Speak to the young person listening right now as we close it off on just that importance. I know we've touched on a lot of important aspects here, but just in closing, maybe something that we could have not mentioned as of yet, that you think we should all take into mind as we plan our futures.
Okay, I can't think of anything offhand, but let me say this. I think you have a great opportunity as a student in the University of Johannesburg.
Sure.
I've been very impressed with what I've seen. Nothing comes without hard work. Work hard.
Yeah.
Education is critically important.
Sure.
From an RMB private bank perspective, we are fully in support of driving education as a key measure in terms of how we create a better country.
Sure.
So work hard, learn lots, and then as you go out into the field, give a lot of thought in terms of, and go slow, give a lot of thought in terms of how you save.
Yeah.
Build yourself a habit
Sure.
of budgeting. Know what your expenses are, know what your income is, how much can you save, and build on that.
Yeah.
And then as you go, that should get stronger and stronger. Stay disciplined. When you go out into the work environment, learn as much as you can. Don't try to rush everything. Don't take shortcuts. Go slow. Life is a journey, and I think you get to enjoy it more if you go through it with purpose.
Yeah.
And a goal.
Oh man, that's beautiful. Malcolm, thank you so much for joining us. I wish we could
Thank
go
you.
on
It's been
further
wonderful.
and further because
We could chat all day.
We could chat all day.
What people don't know is we were chatting for like
Way
10, 20
before we
minutes
started.
before. Yeah.
That's how important and great these conversations are, and just
Yeah.
how crucial they are for the young audiences of our
100%.
nation, just to make sure that we get it from the start.
Yeah.
So we thank you so much for making time for us. I think
Thank
I'm
you.
okay with UJenius cheating on me with you.
Well, we'll
Because
see you at the gala next year.
let's have the open marriage. I think I'm open to that because
Yeah.
really this is a great partnership that you guys
Yeah.
have, and I wish you nothing but the best going forward as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Really
There you
appreciate
have
it.
it.
Thank you.
Divisional head at RMB Private Bank, Malcolm Hahn, joining us for such an incredible conversation as he dives into their graduate program, but also just, giving us some really important tips and advice for us as young professionals, as young people getting into the work field. So if you enjoyed this episode, be sure that you comment down below and tell us what was your favorite part of it. Other than that, do like this video, share with your friends, and subscribe down below. Other than that, I will see you on the next one. Zethembe, bye and God bless.